Hello there. This is going to be a quick video about area, about using the area. Now right now you can see I have a frame space set up here, and I'm going to pretend that I have a quilt on my frame that I want to do an area for and put a design in it. So I'm going to come up here. I'm going to just move my needle, my machine somewhere, doesn't really matter where. All right, I'm gonna do it below the frame space, okay? And I'm gonna come up to area, focus, and I'm gonna do 2 corner. You can do multi-point, which is just taking more than 2 points and creating whatever shape you need. All right, now I'm gonna bring it down, and I'm gonna pretend that this is my quilt size. Well, this is widthwise. I've got it all the way down to the bar here. All the way down to the bar. So you see it sitting on my frame space. That's okay. And I'm going to hit 2 corner again. And now we have a nice little area, which is bounded by the pink box. Now, if I wanted to make this like a whole quilt, then what I do is I come over here to the sidebar, and I'm going to select area and see how it has my size in there. It says it's 50 something by 10 something. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here, I'm going to change the height, and I'm going to say, oh, and one thing I want to point out too, whenever you enter a number into these things like this, you don't have to clear it out or anything else. You just type in what you want and hit enter, and it will go right over it. So let's say that I'm doing this 70 inches. So I put 70, enter. Now I have 50 by 70 over here. And now you can see my area, if I hit my home key, is now very big. Okay? So now we fill that up with our design and do whatever manipulations we want. And then we're good to go. Okay, so I'm going to go back in here. So I think what I will do is just create another video sometime where I put a design in and do all that manipulation. I just wanted to show you about area right now. Now, one thing about the area is you do not have to have an area in order to stitch out a design. The area is so that you can set your design, so you can create your design, whatever you want, and then stitch it out when you're finished. So let's go over here to Modify tab. Let me bring in a design. I'm just going to go ahead and bring in a design. What the heck, right? Might as well go for it. All right, so File, Design, Open. I'm going to take a Prostitcher design, a continuous line. I'm going to do this little flowery one right here. That'll be fine. Let's do that. Okay, so there's my design. All right, now I can go over here to Modify tab. We have Rotate. We do not need an area to rotate a design. You can rotate it however you want. You've got all the degrees, the mirror, the flip, custom rotation if you're just tapping it around like, okay, so if I hit this one over here, it's turning it very, very, very slightly. Let me zoom in there. Maybe you can see it move. No, see, you can't even see it move. That's how little that it's that it is moving. Okay. All right. So you do not need an area to do a rotate. If we go to reposition, we have center, drag, drop, left, over, bottom, right. Okay. Most of these are for the cursor. So if we say, okay, I want it on the top left over here. Whoops. All right, I'm going to touch that. And so it puts the cursor at the top left. If I wanted top right, bottom left, bottom right. That is the position of the cursor. Also this one, center. Center is also the position of the cursor. Now you can also take this design and you can press on it and you can drag it around wherever you want. And you can use these nudge buttons down here to move it around that way. So if I push this, I can scoot it over. If that's too slow, I can come in here and change this to, let's say 0.5 and see how much that moves. See, that moves quite a bit, okay? So that is reposition. You do not need an area to reposition because it's going by the cursor. Okay, if we go to resize, resize, same thing. You do not need to have an area to resize. So now keep in mind that this is just this one design. I have not filled up the area or anything like that with it. We're just talking about this one design right here. Or I could duplicate it and change stuff that way, and I still don't need an area. Okay, so on this, I'm going to lock the height and the width. For me, let's see what my design size is. Okay, it's a height of 5.62. I've got a simply 16. That works fine in my frame space. Okay, so I can change this to, oh, I don't want to change that. Let's change the height. Let's change the height to 7. Okay, there it is at 7. All right, I did not need an area to do that. All right, let's go to the next one, crop. Okay, crop. Now this one I do need an area because it's going to use that area boundary as my crop line, whatever you want to call it. So if I come in here, I'm going to go to repeat, and I'm going to come down here. I'm going to do fill. This is where you do need an area because it has to fill that space. I'm going to add one more widthwise. Okay. You know what? I'm going to add one more, and I'm going to add one more vertically. Okay. So see how my design is now outside of my area? Okay. I can crop. Let me go back to modify and crop. I can crop that on the outside. So I would do that right here. All I do is press that outside, and there it is. And you see all those little start and stops? If I come over here and I hit this edges, let me get both of them in, that minimizes those. Okay? So that's how you minimize those starts and stops. Okay, if I undo, I'll go over here to undo. All right, let's say I want to crop on the inside. Then I press the inside button. Okay, and now we have the design just on the outside. If I click that edges, it makes all those start stops go away. A lot of them go away. Okay? Now I'm going to go back out to undo till we get back to one design. Okay. Okay, so that is where you need to have an area, and it doesn't have to be square, it can be triangle, it can be a star. You've got areas in your that come with your Prostitcher Lite that you can use, and they're all different shapes: circles, stars, diamonds, all sorts of things. So explore those and play with it and see how it works. Okay, align. The align button does use the area. So if I come over here and I say I want to center it, see how it centers in the area, not by the cursor. Oops, sorry. I keep going out of focus. Okay, so it centered it by the area, not the cursor. That's what align does. That's the difference between align and reposition. Okay, now I can come in here. I could align it to the left. I could align it to the right. I could align it to the top, bottom, center. See, I have right selected here. That all went on the right. If I do that on the left, I could do the same thing. Okay. Oh, that's a stretch right there. A horizontal stretch. Oh, let me undo. All right, and a vertical stretch. Oh, bizarre. Okay, let's get rid of that. Let's do a stretch. Whoa, crazy town. Let's get rid of that. Okay, so you have to have an area in order to do align, because it's looking for that area to align your design in. Okay, the next thing is skew. Skew requires an area. We have regular skew and border skew. So if you have an area that's wonky, like let's say you did a multi-point along a piece of sashing or a border, and it's not exactly straight, then you put your design in there and hit that border skew, and it will fit it in there very sweetly. And same with skew, like let's say you have a block and you're doing a block. So you draw your little square block area, get your block design, you can skew it right in there. So you have to have an area to use skew. Okay, let's see, let's go over to repeat. Repeat, if you want to fill an area, then you will need an area. You have to have an area to fill an area. But if you just want to repeat your design, you don't have to have an area. You can just repeat it. It doesn't matter. See, I take this and pull this up here, and I'm just adding a couple of repeats manually. Let's add a couple right there. Okay? So I don't have to have an area to do that. But if I want to fill and I want to stretch, then I need an area. Okay? All right, so that's what you need. That's how you use areas. I know that was just really quick and short, so hopefully that helps answer some of your questions about how an area works. And if I wanted to, okay, I'm going to show you one more thing. Okay, so I have not baselined this. Let's say this is what I wanted to stitch out on my quilt. If I don't baseline it and I remove my area, so I'm going to come over here. Oops, I'm going to do area clear. Watch what happens to it. Oh, nothing. Okay, well, never mind. I thought it was going to kind of skew itself around. Sometimes it does. I've seen that happen. You need to baseline before you get rid of your area sometimes. Otherwise, all those changes that you made won't hold. Anyway, okay, I think that's it for right now. Hopefully that helps. Okay, bye.